Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is going to be a short but informative video on interior cleaning tools. A lot of people send us questions on when and how to use each tool. There's so many different tools that you can use. You have compressed air, you have steam, you have extractors when you're talking about power tools and electrical tools, as well as drill brushes. When we're talking manual tools, if you're just starting out, this video is going to be very, very helpful for you because these are going to allow you to get a better clean based off of items that you may have in your household. So the first one I'm going to start off with is a simple brush. A brush is one of the easiest ways to start distinguishing yourself as a detailer, because with the brush, you're going to start cleaning into depths that the average DIYer and the average person does not clean. With the brush, you're able to exfoliate at a very light level. You're also able to dust in cracks and crevices, air vents, small areas. You're also able to clean out cup holders a lot better, as well as control panels, buttons, gauges, all those types of areas. You're able to get into it with a little bit more precision when you're using a tool like a brush. This is our interior dusting brush. This one only gets used on clean surfaces. So as you can see, it's not dirty. We have different types of brushes for different uses. So we'll get into a whole different video talking specifically about brushes, but for now, I'm just giving you guys the basics of what we use and some essentials that you might want to carry with you, especially if you're starting out, that are going to make your job a lot easier. You're going to be able to save time, and you're going to be able to get better results than just using a microfiber towel and your cleaning agents. Brush has many different uses. You can use it wet, you can use it dry, but the brushes allow you to get a different level of clean. When I started using brushes, the first few months that I was detailing, I noticed a crazy difference in not only the level of cleaning that I was getting, but the amount of time that I was saving. So after I got my brushes, I started cleaning, a little bit more interiors, and I started to notice that, a lot of people, when they start their career, you start working on a lot of these cars that are really beat up. You're not charging a lot of money because you're learning. As you learn, obviously, there's things that you don't know. And one of the things that I was lucky enough to learn sooner than later was how to exfoliate leather and hard plastics. And one of the things that was huge for me was this guy here. This is a scrub pad. This is a soft scrub pad. So this isn't aggressive, but this pretty much will do what a Scrub Ninja does, or a Sidekick. What it's going to do is it's going to go into the grain. It's going to start to work out all the grime that's inside of the grain and inside of the materials. It's going to release those. That way it cleans it up a lot better. So if you have old seats that have cracks in them and there's a lot of grime built up in there, or you just have a heavily soiled seat that just needs to get cleaned up really well, this is what you're going to use for it. We primarily now use these for disaster details to get that initial first layer of gunk off before we go in with our Scrub Ninja and before we go in with our steam. So this guy here is going to be crucial. I'll link this in the description below because we still use these to this day. If we have a disaster detail, we'll bring about 2 or 3 of these with us. The good thing about these is there's certain brands that carry them, and you can actually cut them in half, or you can even cut them into fourths. I like to cut them into fourths. That way you can use one per area, one per seat, or if it's heavily soiled, you can use a whole sheet on one. And then you have a few. You can rinse these off with your pressure washer. It'll clean them up, but over time they do get pretty beat up. So these are usually for us a one-time use, and then they get tossed. So that is the scrub pad, and this was my first introduction to the Scrub Ninja type of cleaning. This is a Sidekick here by P&S. This also is great. For certain situations, this works a little bit better. Obviously, you're going to want to keep this away from screens from Piano Black. This is going to be primarily for textured materials, leathers, vinyls, hard plastics, pretty much any material that's on a door that's not glossy or metallic finish, we're going to use these guys here on. So it works great on leather, works great on plastics, works great on vinyls. Anything textured, this is going to help pull it out and exfoliate. So think of this as this guy here, but in a disposable form. And these are cheap. So you can buy a bunch of them, have them with you. It's a great option for you if you're first starting out. I'd get a bunch of these. I used to carry these with me all the time. These were like my secret weapon. Moving on to the Sidekick or Scrub Ninja. By the way, I'll link all this stuff in the description below. So we have the Scrub. This is the Sidekick by PNS. PNS came out with this one a couple years ago. A lot of people know the Scrub Ninja. It's been out there for a long time. Very, very great product. This here is going to pretty much do the same thing as this here. This is going to be a little bit more gentle, a little bit safer, and it's not going to clog up as much. So this is going to hold in quite a bit of the grime. This here is going to release it onto the surface itself. So when you clean it up, the downside to this is it's not disposable. And if it gets clogged up and dirty and you're using the same one over and over, you're pretty much going to start spreading at some point. So that's why for the disaster details, we choose this guy here. That way, once it clogs up, we toss it, we grab a second one, we're good to go. We're starting from square one. This here, if you're only running with one or two of these, if you're doing a disaster detail and it gets saturated with dirt and grime, you pretty much have to wash it in order to get it to perform consistently throughout the rest of the car. Mobile jobs will always carry 2 or 3 of these with us just because we never know what we're going to run into. If the vehicle is maybe, say, moderate, but you have some areas that are really tough, go in here with this first, then you can follow up with this guy here so you're not getting it all clogged up and saturated with grime. So then otherwise, so you're not spreading it throughout the rest of the vehicle. So these two, highly recommended. One or the other, it's good to have both. But if you're not doing a lot of disaster detail, they're good to have. Both are good to have. Also, another key point with these guys too, a little tip that I learned from Bob Phillips, owner of PNS, is this guy here does fantastic on gel coats. So if you are working with gel coats, prior to the polishing process, if you have heavy buildup of gel coat, you could foam the boat up. You could foam up the boat or the RV and give it a good scrub down with this here, and you'll pull off and release a whole bunch of that gel coat prior to polishing it. That way your polishing pads aren't getting gunked up with this oxidation and this nasty old gel coat. This will strip off a bunch of it for you and kind of cut your work time down. So great process. I've been using it for a long time. Saves a lot of time, saves a lot of money, saves a lot of energy. So shout out to Bob Phillips, PNS, for throwing that one in there because that is a gem. So yes, always have these. Our last interior tool that we use is going to be the Magic Eraser. Of course, we all know the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Magic Eraser is the tool that does the job when none of these can. Think of the leathers that you can't clean, that just kind of stay dingy. This guy here, a light pass with this guy here will definitely take care of it. This scuffs and scratches even on the exterior, this will take care of. But you do have to remember, this is an abrasive. So if you are doing anything with this, it needs to be very light. Think of how you use a clay bar. That's the way I tell people. Think of it how you would use a clay bar. You're not applying pressure, you're letting the friction do the work. But also, I stay away from the exterior with this guy here because it will dull it out really quick and you're gonna have to polish it out. So you might as well just polish it out if you do have a scuff or something. But this here can take care of scuffs. It is capable of taking care of scuffs on the exterior. Keep it away from any coarse material. Keep it away from any material that doesn't have gloss or protective coating on it. You don't want to scratch a plastic area with this. go too deep on it because you will discolor. So there you have it, our favorite interior tools.